Hey, top of the new year to you. Holy
Yes,
jumping tuna fish.
that's
We have
right.
not been in here since the end of
new
last year.
Yeah.
Well, I know me. I'm good riddance 2023. Adios, amigo. It's done. It's buried. No one to see that one again.
Bring on 2024, the year of all
Exactly.
good things. We can feel it brewing. We know what's happening for
Ooh,
sure.
oh, yes.
So we are very excited for our first live back as well, because we have an amazing guest speaker with us today.
We do, and she's one of our very own.
That's right.
You know, I love being not only our certification, but I love it when our facilitators start understanding, you know, their gifts, their uniqueness to the beauty that comes with being certified. And then whatever happens in one's life and whatever path we are guided on, it, you know, they marry each other and then they start complementing each other, because it's not just about running programs and doing things. It's about who are you and what are you going to add to what you already love, working with horses and of course helping humans to move forward. But this guest today, very excited. It's sad, but at the same time it's so beautiful, inspiring for many of us. And we thought it would be a great way to start the new year, because sometimes we start off with rah new year, what's our resolutions? Boo! We know how all those resolutions work, right?
I put up a post that said, I'm going to start a new gym called Resolutions. For the first 2 weeks of January, it's all gym equipment, and then it switches over to a wine bar.
I like that. I like that.
It could make some money.
but you know, still even going with so much disconnect in our world, and disconnect in many different areas, but huge in mental health. This is an area, to me, after speaking with our guest speaker, you know, it's so untapped, and so many people don't know that there's another avenue that they can go to when they're suffering so much in their heart and their soul and mentally, and they don't know where can they go to get help and what does that help look like. So it's going to be very exciting. I think this is a great way to start the new year. Let's help humans get more connected back to what they need to be connected to, instead of having such disconnects that cause so much mental unwellness.
And sometimes that help isn't readily available.
No.
And that's the hardest part about it. So when we can have connection, when we can learn from others, when we can hear stories like the one we're going to hear today, sometimes it's what can get us moving forward in the right direction, getting off on the right foot in the new year. So
absolutely.
Before we get into all of this, we'll go through our regular rigmarole, and hopefully we'll see some of these today. And this is that hashtag, holy jumping tuna fish. That was weird. We didn't do our thing.
No, we didn't.
Holy jumping tuna fish. Started the year off weird. So if you hear something today that inspires you, that lights your fire, that gives you something to think about, or you just think, holy jumping tuna fish, please throw in that hashtag, because we always do like to know. Whoever is on and watching as well, we like to know who you are, where you're from, so we feel like we're talking to other people, which is nice. And we'll have our speaker on as well today, which will be lovely,
always nice, but it's always nice when we have the following.
Yes, exactly. The next hashtag we'd like to throw out is that hashtag, we are life changers, because that is right. You, us, our horses, everybody in this world has the opportunity to change a life for the better every single day that we live and breathe. And as we have said many times, that really just boils down to kindness in a lot of ways.
It really is. And with our guest speaker today too, like, she falls totally into that.
Yes,
absolutely. So this is going to help so much.
And one of our watchers does too.
Bizanson. Oh yeah, baby.
Welcome. And then of course, share this baby out, because, you know, it's not just, sometimes we meet someone that needs to hear these things in a different way. And a friend of mine, actually, she lost her husband. Her husband was murdered a few years ago, and she just found out that her daughter now has a devastating illness. And, you know, you think of like, I'm going to share this one to her, because you never know. Maybe it's a connection that can help her move forward, because there is a grief aspect with everything she's going through as well. So share this out. You never know who needs to hear maybe a little nugget of information from today as well. Just to let you know who we are, my name is Carolyn Charles. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing, as well as an instructor and facilitator for the Equine Connection, the Academy of Equine Assisted Learning, Inc.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Fulmick, the founder of the Equine Connection, helping people globally around the world do what it is that we do. And it is seriously the greatest journey and joy and job in the entire earth, because We get to smell horses every day. We live and breathe, but we're always about helping the human to become empowered and move forward through the power of the horse that's teaching. And of course, the welfare of our horse always comes first in our certification.
Absolutely. So without further ado, if you will, let's introduce our guest speaker today. And she is the author of Heart Whispers. And we're very excited to get this piece as well, because we think it can be such a great piece for anybody going through grief.
Help, yes.
So please get excited here to meet the author of Heart Whispers, Joanne Moïse-Routhier, which we learned how to say properly last time we did a live. And she is a courageous mother who tragically lost her beloved son, Jesse, in August 2022. Through the depths of despair, she discovered a profound connection to Spirit and Mother Earth, a transformative journey that unveiled an epiphany from the heavens above. To embark on such a journey requires immense courage, resilience, faith, and trust in God, and a fire within that transcends the pain of grief. This book is a testament to the indomitable human spirit, a beacon of hope and transformation. Within its pages, the reader will discover the golden nugget, a profound purpose and meaning that resides deep within our hearts. As grief and love intertwine, a powerful change awaits, one that honors the cherished memories of our loved one and illuminates a path to healing. So we are so excited for Joanne to join us today, one of our own as well. And getting her on. There she is.
There she is.
Beautiful. Let me just switch this over to you.
Okay, I got to sit a little bit closer just because, well, then we got the two screens. It looks like it's normal now.
Yes.
There we go.
We're just tight tonight. I apologize for my coffee breath already.
Joanne, we are
Welcome.
so excited that you could join us and that you're so about sharing and helping so many people you may never have even met yet, just through, again, helping humans to understand how and where they can actually get help in grief, because I know you did not have a good way of doing it.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about your journey going through all of this.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Joanne Moïse-Routhier, and I live Ottawa East, Ontario, in the little town of Alexandria. And I am a certified horse facilitator through EAL, not once, but twice. And Equine Connection, I have been certified with them in 2019. So my journey with horses has been pretty well all my life, but through the professional certification since 2014. So my journey really started, how can I say that? It's a journey of grief, guys. It's a journey of grief. As a bereaved mom, as Carolyn shared, I lost my son, Jesse, in 2022, August. And it was a traumatic loss. It was a sudden loss. It was an unexpected loss, and brought me to not just my knees, it brought me down totally, because such a grief is called traumatic grief. For what actually happens to the mind, body, emotional state, physical, all of it is trauma. So I began a journey that I never asked for. Never thought that I would be anywhere here today speaking about grief the way that I share, not because I took it in school, because it found me from the tragic loss of my son, Jesse, in 2022. So the journey began from being totally numbinized, if that is even a word. Because, okay, good, because I never used it up until now. So, and foggy and all of it. So basically, I became robotic, because what happens in grief, not just grief, see, you have two circles. You have the circle of grief, you have a circle of trauma. And then when you have this, that little piece in the middle that joins the two is called traumatic grief. So because not all grief has trauma, let's say you have an elder, you know, they're on their way out, and, you know, that is grief, traumatic grief. You have no clue it's coming and hit you. And what happens to the physical, to the mental, to the emotional, the chemicals, all of it is in the banks of traumatic grief. So that's what I was hit with. So walking in the shades, the fog of grief that I didn't even know who I was, because in my studies and what I've learned is with traumatic grief or anything that happens in trauma, your actual spirit leaves your body, and it's a protector because your body is not made, you're humanly not capable of handling such trauma. So therefore, that is what is protecting you to maintain living.
Oh, wow.
So I was walking around in a fog, numbness. We had the cleanup to do of the residuals of Jesse's leftover from his home, from his business, because he owned a flooring store. And people say at this point, which is not even a month after his death, people say, oh my gosh, you are so strong. It's not that at all. I am not back in my body yet. I am walking zombie. I am a walking traumatic grief bereaved mom. So I am doing the things, I am just existing. If anybody knows what just existing means, is somebody who has gone through trauma. So I am doing all these things, keeping me going until the day comes when there's no more cleanup to do. There's no more paperwork to do. What are you left with?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing to believe what just transpired. And you can't right away. And I looked in the mirror and I went, oh my God, who are you? And I got scared. And I guess it would have been in October when I had enough strength to pick myself up and to realize, coming out of the smoke of what actually happened in the fog and then the numbness, I said, it's time for me to pick up that phone. It's not it's time, it's I'm scared. So I pick up a phone to call a bereavement center, which there was no answer, which I left a message to please call me back. So meanwhile, I kept looking for resources on their website, and the resources were called the Canadian Mental Health and Addiction Services, which was in a city about an hour away. Call this other number, call hospice, call here, call there. Okay, God had something else in mind for me, because no word of a lie, there was no answer. And especially calling hospice, okay? There was no answer. If I didn't let that phone ring 150 times, I didn't let it ring once, no answer, not even an answering machine. Service, whatever. I don't know what the hell went on that day, but it all happened. Then I called another resource called Inspire, and I'm not afraid to tell that name to the public. And there was an answer, and I said, I'm looking for help. I just lost my son, and I'm scared. And what the voice said to me at the other end is, I'm sorry. there is a wait list of 8 months to a year.
No, 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 no.
Yeah. Just hold on to that and see
No.
what happens during 8 months. That's crazy.
And you know, my words were vulgar in my reply because that was my reaction, that I couldn't believe what was actually happening. And it was confirmed by a friend of mine who is in the healthcare system as a psychotherapist. And she went on Facebook Live later and said, I hate to even admit this, but Joanne is right. The healthcare system is so broken.
Yeah.
So with all these doors that were, I can't even say they were closed because they were never opened. To this day, I still never got a call from that bereavement center.
Holy, think of all the other hundreds and thousands of people who have no help.
That's literally the epitome of hitting a brick wall, not a closed door, a brick wall, right?
Oh.
That exactly. Like I cannot fathom what is out there, that when someone is in deep trouble, to have just enough left in them to reach out for help. Because the worst, the hardest part is reaching for help. Showing up is the other piece. So when you are not even slapped across the face, because that would feel good compared to what I got. And I know I am not the only one.
Oh.
So that day, what happened to me is I became angry. The anger escalated to rage. And I had to get my own composure, but don't forget, in the grief process, anger is going to come up. So that was the pinhole in the balloon that went poof. Here's an opportunity for anger, rage, upset, all of it to come to the surface, and it did. So I sat with that for probably about a week. And I said, I got to do something. I am a certified EAL facilitator. I'm a coach. I work with horses. I help people, but nobody's there to help me. Let me back up. Not nobody. I did find a grief doula in my area. I had to pay to go and see her. I found her because I know her. So these resources that claim, government especially, I hate to say it, that they're out there is a different story. So I did see a grief doula to help me in the steps in making the decision that I needed to be the one out there to expand my credentials, to expand what is actually needed in the world with what I already have. And I am so happy to say I am gifted with the horses, with what I do with people. That I know. That I know, and I will bring that to the friggin' cows till they come home. So I know this industry of all of us facilitators here to make a difference as you hear the continuing of my journey. So I said, if I'm certified working with horses to help people, I am going to bring another tool, avenue, credential, specialization of grief with horses. So you tell me that this wasn't meant to be for me. Within a week, I had reached the world-renowned David Kessler in California. And the following week, he was starting his certification, his new year of certification in grief to register. So it was a hell yes. And I didn't care what it cost. If I had to take a loan, I didn't care. So I did it and I registered. I was a student for almost 4 months, twice a week, for an hour and a half each time slot, let alone the homework that I did with David Kessler, with the community online, and the going back and forth, because I knew in my heart that this was going to be a whole new avenue to take to the industry. I felt it in my gut. I felt it in my heart. And then in my journey, my husband says to me, "Are you not going to go and see your horses?" And I said, "I see them every day. I go and feed them." And then I was like, out of there. I had no connection because I was still out of my body. So I'm still functioning. I functioned through this course. But what helped me to get back into my body, which led me back to my horses, this course here made me understand so much, not just the topic of grief, but the whole topic of what happens to a human, how the outside world perceives grief. And you know what, ladies, and anybody who is here watching now or watching a replay, you will know that we are living in a society that is grief avoidance. People think grief is, oh, it's been 6 months. Aren't you over it yet? Oh my, you're still struggling? Well, don't be sad. You know, you have other kids. You know, you're doing such a good thing. It is nasty. It is nasty, okay? So that's why whenever I hear these things, I didn't say anything. I was absorbing everything, okay? I was absorbing because that's all I could do until I was starting to slowly come back into myself, to the grace of the course that I took with David Kessler on becoming a certified grief educator. So it made me understand. So then I went out to my horses, not with any intention, just because. I listened to my intuition. I listened to my inner guidance, which is wisdom, which we all have. So I was walking by the rails. I was going to get hamburger in the freezer, so I'm just walking. Nope, don't want nothing to do with you guys, because I figured out why. Because I knew what they could do. I know what horses can do in the healing aspect and where they can take you. They can take you right down to your knees with emotion of healing because of what happens with horses and humans. That electromagnetic, attraction. It's a magnet. They know before you're even close. You guys know this. A lot of us know this. So that's why I first said, nope, don't want nothing to do with it, because I know what they can do.
Yeah.
So I walked and didn't even get my hamburger out of the freezer yet. And I was with my Max, my Canadian horse. And it all happened. It all hit. No word of a lie, I was at that rail. And Max, he just came and he plumped his muzzle on my chest. If anybody knows real grief, you know the pain, the physical pain that you go through of losing someone you love and or of something that you lost that you loved. So he muzzled my heart. And of course, I just lost it. I knew it was going to happen, and I allowed it to happen. I must have been with him with probably an hour, and the other 3, because I have 4 horses. The other 3, I've never seen this. They held each direction, south, east, north. Max was with me. Sorry, south, east, north, and west. He was facing west with me. And nobody budged until, especially the lead mare, she never even budged. And she came only when the work was done with Max. Wow. Anyways, that is a whole other story that I can share about what horses can do, can bring to the table. And this is why I got certified as a grief educator specialist to go into the industry of horses. In the meantime, I'm just going to take a drink here.
That's allowed. I hope you're seeing some of these comments that are popping up here too. They are quite lovely, saying how amazing you are not alone, and how inspiring you are as well.
That is really supportive and needed, because as a grieving mom, it's not because it was 2022. I will always be a grieving mom. Grief will always live in my life. And support, community, understanding, compassion, empathy is always needed. I don't care if somebody talks about someone they lost 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It doesn't matter. Grief is grief. Mourning is mourning, is because you loved. Mm-hmm. And we all love. And it's time to bring awareness to this world about grief. And the other big piece that I'm going to get into, and I can take a break here to let you ladies speak if you wish, before I carry on to, in my journey, the other piece that I took. We good to go?
Yeah, go for it. We're loving hearing.
We're absolutely in the sharing. Go.
Okay, so I am also, have been since a kid, an avid journaler. I have a journal, many journals, because I write. I think I was, well, to the age of where I started to write. My mom gave me a 5-year diary with a lock and key. So that started way back when. So when Jesse passed, I remember trying to journal and I just couldn't do it. And I said, what am I writing about? And I couldn't do it until my spirit was starting to settle back into my body. Then I started to write and journal. Well, folks, I journaled the raw, the real emotions, the out-of-body experiences before I started to get back into my body, what was happening, the pieces that were coming together, the pieces that unglued in my life, the real pieces of pain, trauma. And as I was writing, some of the times I didn't even know that I was going through trauma until later. So my journaling was a lifesaver because it allowed my journey of grief, because I had nowhere to go at a period of time. There was no doors open, but my journey of journaling, say that 10 times. And like I said, my intuition speaks to me. I'm very spiritual. I believe in God. I listen to the wise words, the whispers. Let's start getting into the whispers that come in. And I was journaling on this Sunday, and it hit me. I came into the kitchen and I said, this journaling belongs in a book. It's a resource to help others through grief by hearing my words, by hearing my journey, by hearing my daily inputs. It's going to help people. I know it is. So how the steps unfolded, I was seeing the grief doula, and in one of our conversations, she got talking about a children's book that she wrote. And I said, oh, who's your publisher? So again, to me, those are all signs of the crumbles, the little breadcrumbs along the road, along my path, along my journey to pick up. So I contacted the publisher. And of course, you have to be accepted. So I had an interview with her. And I told her my journey. I told her my story. I told her everything with the tears and everything, because that was in December of 22. So not too long after. And I had going back to taking the course about with David Kessler. That was in October, because that was a healing piece for me. So the publisher, Carolyn Flower, Oxygen Publishing, they accepted me and they accepted my story. So the journey there began. A year later, on December 15th, I am the proud author of Heart Whispers, of the journey of my actual raw words, true words. You can't get any truer, because I dropped the F-bomb in my book. And I actually asked the editor, I said, Steve, can I actually let those words in there? And he said, this is a memoir, Joanne. These are your words. That's what people want to hear, is your words, what you went through. So yes, they're allowed in there. So don't be surprised what you read in there. And
if it didn't have those words, how authentic would it be, though?
Right?
Sometimes you just, the F-bomb is necessary in certain aspects.
Learned that from Charles.
See?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I did a thing and I wrote the book, but I didn't write it alone. I communicated with Jesse. I know this download came from Jesse, from God, my faith, put it all together. The validation speaks loud and clear in here. But the other thing that I came to the awareness was when I decided the date of the book launch and how I was going to do this, because it was going to be a hell yes celebration book launch. Not, oh, I'm going to the library and I have a book. No, it is a book launch. It's a party, and it's going to be a celebration, because that was effing hard work. The shit that I went through, the on my knees, the on my butt, no. And I had to be told that it was okay to celebrate. I earned and deserved, and so did Jesse. I'm honoring him. I am truly honoring him and his legacy, his journey. That is all part of grieving, is doing this. So the date that I picked for the book launch was December 15th. I had no clue December 15th was going to be on a Friday. Why December 15th? It's Jesse's birthday.
Oh.
It was Jesse's birthday, so it was a celebration. in honoring him with the book launch called Heart Whispers. And let me tell you, I got the Heart Whispers all along in the writings in this book. And it'll touch a lot of people. I know it will. It's a resource. It's a resource of actually reading. And we have clients, I know we all are facilitators here. We have clients. This is a resource to offer a client to go through what it is that they're going through, to feel that they're not alone. There's a journaling space in there. And not just that, this book brings you to finding your own golden nuggets and meanings through grief. You will find the purpose. It's not that there's a purpose in grief, but you will continue on with a love greater than your pain for the loved one that you have lost, or for the event that you have lost. And I finished this book at the 6-month marker, when my horse Oreo sent me the sign through, like I said, I'm a good facilitator. I watched my horses. I watched the abnormal activity and actions of Oreo, the one who was there the day that I got the call that Jesse had passed. I was talking with Oreo before the call. The 6-month marker, Oreo, because Jesse knew I would get the message through Oreo. He was just, it was February 15th. He was just running wild and crazy and getting all the other horses like ramped up, running in the beautiful snow and clouds of snow. And he kept coming to the gate to watch my face, stopped, looked at my face, and I was like, what are you saying? Ran to the barn, looked at the barn. And I said, huh? Then he'd run back, get all the other horses riled up to get my attention, like, what's going on? Came back to where I was, looked at me, like, he must have did this about 4 times. And I have the videos to actually prove, not prove, but to show this happening. Went back to the barn and I said, he's telling me something. And I said, oh my God. Are you telling me Jesse's okay? He's free, he's running wild, and he's okay? Oreo came as soon as I said those words. People, you won't believe this. He became quiet. I looked at the time. 6 months at 5:19 p.m. is when I said the words, oh my God, is because it's Jesse, he's okay. He settled down. That was the exact time, 5:19 on August 15th, that I got the call that Jesse was gone.
Oh, wow.
So you tell me, anybody here, and that's why this industry is going to blow up, about horses, the sentient being that they are, and the messages that they have and carry for us, for the healers, for anybody who is actually connected and listening. You will get so much, so much. And it's to help the clients, to help yourself. Like this whole world is going to be a whole new world. The facilitators here that are listening and hearing my story, and trust me, this This here is a very small bubble of all the other bubbles of stories that contain wowness into this industry of healing with horses, helping people through horses. The horses are magical. They are the closest spirit to God.
Mm.
And when you connect on that level, unbelievable. So on my journey of, I'm coming up to 17 months, I wrote a book. I am a certified grief educator, and amalgamating it with being a horse facilitator. And I am coming out with a certification for horse facilitators in the EAL world to become specialized in grief, because we are in a grief illiterate world that we got to change this around, because the wound that we carry, old wounds that we carry, and I know we have psychologists, counselors, psychotherapists, certified bodies that do some horse facilitation, but I'm going to be real clear and saying not everyone is grief literate. And I don't care if you're a psychologist, psychotherapist, whatever, you're not.
Yeah.
You may know a little piece of it unless you specialize in grief and trauma, traumatic grief. You know, that's a whole different story, but we got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole world is going to change, because it's not all about medication. It has its time, it has its place. I get it, but it's a Band-Aid. And sometimes, don't quote me, don't get me wrong, you will be on medication forever or whatever reasons, whatever. But let's be a part of changing this. And if it's a temporary, which is really nice news to hear, that it's temporary. If we in this industry take steps, leading steps, taking the reins, pulling back, and creating a whole change. Because where does pain stem from? Grief is your root about pain. Everybody has pain. But not everybody has to live in pain and stay in pain and suppress pain and cause more pain on top of pain and end up really messed up, where then you get into addiction. Then you end up with mental health, and the cycle just never stops. So I am here to say, and I truly believe it, I wish I had a stick, because I'm going to put the stick in the spoke.
Use your pen, it'll work.
Yeah. Oh,
We are part of such a beautiful world. It's up to us to change it.
yes.
And if anybody's following me on Facebook, Instagram, you will see a post, which is the night of my book launch, that I'm like this, and I'm not even there yet. I said, if I can do it, anybody can. It's this mind over matter. And it took me a traumatic experience. Yes, it did. But people, please don't wait for a traumatic experience in order to make a difference. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. There is no shame. There is nothing, because this is all greatness. And the one thing that I'd like to close off with, the book launch was an awareness to me, because people have been reaching out right, left, and center, because I'm talking about grief. And at the book launch, I know what I did. I opened up floodgates to a brand new arena. People were so happy to be able to walk through that gate. Oh my God, Joanne. Because I opened up the floodgates to step into an arena where it's a soft place to land. It's a place in order to be witnessed with compassion, love, and kindness. And I don't care if it was 25 years ago. Maybe 25 years ago, you didn't have that compassion. You didn't have that person to talk to. All you had is, oh my gosh, get over the grief and you don't have to be sad. Look at everything that you're doing and have done. And no, guys, grief is grief. And we need to change the world into avoidance, into its okayness, to be open to grief. So let's become certified grief specialist in the horse industry.
Yes.
I know I did. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm creating. So the doors are just opening when the doors were not even there to open. So thank you so much. And like, I have many more stories, but this is where I'm at right now, ladies. So with this book, Heart Whispers, because it comes from my heart through the whispers that all came into me of true words, raw words, real words. You can get the book on Amazon. I'm on Amazon internationally. Or if you would like a signed copy with, I still have some gifts that I can send to you. If you want that signed copy with that special gift, and I am not telling you what that special gift is, because it won't be a surprise, right?
Right.
So you can send it to doublebeauty@outlook.com. You can send that email to me so that I know you want to order it through me. If not, you can go on Amazon, wherever you are. I'm on the international platform. I'm proud to say so. So thank you. And if anybody has any questions, if anybody wants to reach out privately, I am here.
Oh, Joanne, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because you've said everything that we all need and what we need to know. And even as you were talking about it, it's so bizarre how often my mom is always with me, because I've always said that you always have a broken heart. You just learn how to move with that broken heart in a different way, because it doesn't go away. Time does not make it no easier. But she's like 11 years. And there's, I don't know, for these last 2 weeks, so many moments, but two people I can already think of, I want to gift your book to them. So then would I just contact you, or should I just do it through Amazon and then send it directly to the person?
It depends if you wish for them to have a personalized signature with a note from me and knowing that you gifted it, and with the special insert of the gift to go through me. So it's your choice what you want to do.
Well, and I'm liking this idea a lot, because the two people I'm thinking of are both facilitators with us as well. So I'd love them to know that you are also a certified facilitator, and that you're going to, obviously, as we've talked about, bringing this course to fruition for other equine assisted learning facilitators globally. So I think maybe that'd be the way to go. I think so. Hey?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Look at you. You can remember that Joanne said that word, the email.
Yeah.
Amazes my brain. I'd be saying, is that J? Is that an O as in octopus?
I think that's right, isn't it? doublebeauty@outlook.com.
You betcha.
Wow. Good. Yeah. Do you want to just tell her a few things that people have said?
Yeah, I don't know if you've been able to see all of these lovely comments.
You're gonna
I have not. I've been so engrossed in my conversation because I was speaking from the heart. I did not. So we can go over it.
Yeah, there's a few
I love you too, Rachel. Oh,
I know that we saw you are absolutely amazing on here from Kelly Lewis, and she has tears streaming down her face. She had the same experience when it was triggering with her PTSD. She can't wait to get the book as well. And she also said, if I had to guess, ma'am, your son is so proud of you, which I think is a lovely comment as well. Tammy Collins, oh, wow, praise Jesus. Erica, wow, your story, your journey, truly amazing. Your connection to spirit is so beautiful. Sarah, animals are so powerful, amazing how they communicate to us. Kelly says, I believe it. When we were talking about the horse stories there.
Absolutely.
Penny Stevenson, thank you for this. Here's to continued healing, Joanne, and helping others. Rachel Dent Flynn, she said the I love you as well. And another, where did I miss her other comment up here? I thought I saw it. You inspire me every single day. Thanks for continuing to show up. You are not alone. Sarah won your book over Christmas. She's so excited to get it and start reading it. She'll be taking the course once you're all ready with it as well. Julie Stewart, thank you for sharing your experience. It's amazing how things come at us at the right time. I was supposed to hear your message today.
Oh, you see, it's so beautiful.
And Betty, Joanne, well said. I would love a signed book, please. So we've got the email up there for anybody who's interested in that piece as well. And yeah, just a huge inspiration. And I think grief is one of those things that people judge upon what people are grieving over, right?
Yeah.
And grief is something different to every single individual that goes through it. And the judgment people place on, you know, put on your big girl panties, or you do just fine with that. Just get over it. I think you're absolutely right that there is a huge hole that's missing for a safe place for people to feel what they need to feel and move through what they need to move through. And I think it's such a blessing that there are people like you out in the world that are offering that safe place.
People need help. People need connection, and people need to know where to find it readily, not a year, not 8 months, and not actually even a day later. It is the now when a human is calling and asking for help.
Yeah.
And that's the exact thing that I promote. And anyone who is calling, I've had a client come here at 8 o'clock at night. Like, if you are in pain and you're reaching out, I say, hey, what works for you? We may not be out in the paddock with the horses. We may be in my living room here. That's okay too, until we can get to the horses. So I have 2 doors. I have swinging doors open, you know, with the horses and with my home. It's all heart connected. So, you know, if you are showing up and you're reaching out, it's the biggest and the hardest part. One of the hardest parts, but you actually showing up. I commend each and every client that actually shows up, because it takes effort, guts, strength, resilience, like it, and they need to be witnessed that it was courageous to show up.
Yes,
you know?
that might have been the last ounce of strength or courage that they had, right? Like I think it's amazing that you hit brick walls and yet you're willing to offer swinging doors. And that's a pretty phenomenal piece of it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
I could have gone the opposite way.
Absolutely.
I could have.
Oh, for sure. There's always 2 choices in this life, always.
And the right one's not always the easiest one either. And I'm sure this wasn't an easy process for you in the whole realm of things by any means.
And we're going to put this into a podcast as well, Joanne. So that podcast can also be shared out globally for those who aren't always following on Facebook or other social media platforms. And then, of course, we will get your book up on our public store as well. So they can just click onto however you want them to click onto, so it can go directly. So you're not going to be missed by anybody our way anyway. We'll put you wherever we can.
Make sure you're covered.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm here. I'm here.
That's a huge piece to say, especially after everything you've gone through and how you weren't here. You physically were there, walking around like a zombie too, being able to make that statement right now, I'm here. And I think that's amazing.
And that is a big word. I am here, or 3 words.
Yeah.
You know,
big statement.
No,
Yeah.
true. Thank
No,
you so
thank you very much for having me, you know, and keeping the momentum alive, going, and great things are going to come from this. I know it. I feel it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being on. For all of you looking to get that personalized copy, that doublebeauty@outlook.com is the email, or you can check out our website too, joannerouthier.com. And there are many links on there, and you can find out a little bit more about her story as well on that website too. So feel free to visit either or, but Joanne.
And Amazon.
And Amazon.
There's lots of people who love Amazon.
I do love Amazon.
I know.
It's a good place sometimes. So congratulations on your book and moving forward through all of this as well, and keeping Jesse alive in everything that you do.
Absolutely. He's with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, we
You're
will
welcome,
talk to you
hon.
very soon. Thank you so much for being on. We adore you. And yes, go check out joannerouthier.com or doublebeauty@outlook.com as well.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.